have to wait long for our first big story of the evening, the 800 meters, which will decide whether or not Jackie Joyner will or will not set an American record in a heptathlon. Lots of action at track and field, and to check in on what's up to date, here's Leandra Riley.
Jackie Joyner, the athlete who originated from East St. Louis, Illinois, now lives out in the West Coast, goes to UCLA. Earlier today, she competed in the long jump. You are seeing her take first place in that event with a leap of 21 feet, 11 1/4 inches. And if that lady is not poetry in motion, I don't know who is. Probably the best female all-around athlete in the United States today. Jackie Joyner, there you see her now as she prepares to compete in her final event, the 800 meters in the heptathlon. There you see her totals and her points, 5,775 points. She'll have to run one heck of a race if she's to set a new American record. Let's go to Larry Rossman for more on the heptathlon and the athletes in the field.
Thank you, Leandra. There you see the final event. This is the women's equivalent of the men's decathlon. They have 7 events to compete in. The men have 10. Joyner, there you see her figure. She needs a time of 2 minutes, 5 and 69 seconds, 69 100ths in order to break the American record. Beth Sheehan from the East is in lane 1. Jolanda Jones is in lane 2, and she is currently in 3rd place. There in lane 4 is Jill Lancaster from the North. Juanita Alston, running for the East, is in lane 4. There you see some of the field. Jackie Joyner out in lane 5. Lori Young in 6. Deborah Clark is in 7. Lori Young, the NCAA champion from the South, is in 2nd place right now. Jolanda Jones is in 3rd.
And the question here, Larry, is not whether or not Jackie Joyner will win, because that's pretty obvious. I think she could probably not finish this event and win. But we want to know if she can break an American record. 2:05.69 is what she'll need to run. Her best is 2:09 and change, and she's going to be hard-pressed to do that. But I can give you one idea that she's going to give it one heck of a shot.
All right, keep an eye on the red out in the lead group right there in the middle of those 3 ladies. That is Jackie Joyner from East St. Louis, Missouri.
And one of the things you may want to look for is teammates there, the other competitors know she's close to the American record. They may want to help her through this, Larry, and they may go out and set a good pace and pull her along.
Juanita Alston is doing the very same thing from the East team. This is a good pace. I would guess that they're running about fast enough if she could hold this up to be close to 2 minutes and 6 seconds. We'll keep you posted on her first 400 meters. It's Alston in first. Jackie Joyner is in 2nd place right now. Ralph?
Well, one of the questions that have been asked for a long time is putting in distance and putting in miles for Jackie Joyner. How tough is she and how much running has she done? And if you know Bobby Kersee the way most of us do, you know that she's done what's necessary. It's just a matter of her going out now and executing, Larry.
The person that Ralph referred to, Bob Kersee, is the coach at UCLA, where she has just graduated from. I mentioned she was right on about 2:06 pace. Her time through 400 meters, 62 and 87 1/100ths of a second. Can she hold up this pace? That is exactly what she needs for a split. Her first 400 meters to break the American record. She's got to run 2 minutes, 5 and 69 1/100ths of a second.
She looks nice and easy, Larry. She's not tying up yet. She looks like she may have a shot at it. She certainly isn't pressing at all, and I think she's within herself.
200 meters to go. I hope she's got a kick. She does look good, as you say. 1:35.4 through 600 meters. She has slowed slightly. Let's see if she can lift.
Well, this last 100 meters certainly will tell the story, but if she comes off the turn, now if she can just lift just a little bit, and here she comes lifting, she's going to try it.
The crowd is standing on its feet, at least 6,000 or 7 here down the home stretch as she's trying to pump her arms. She is slightly tying up, I think. She may miss the record, but it's going to be close. Jackie Joyner wins the 800 meters for women.
What a close finish, but Jackie gave it everything she had. She really worked hard those last 100 or so meters, but it just wasn't to be today. She just ran out of gas. I'm sure the heat, the humidity, and the struggle over this past 2 days took its toll on her.
She ran a perfect race out there. She just didn't quite have it in the last stretch. 2nd place was Jill Lancaster from the North as she moved up smartly in the last 200 meters to press all the way. It's too bad she wasn't with her. It might have helped a little bit. However, and there you see Jackie Joyner with the victory in the women's 800 meters, the final event of the women's heptathlon. 2 minutes, 11 and 4/10 of a second, unofficial. Let's go down to Leandra Riley.
Thank you very much, Larry Ross. And 2:11, as you said, not quite good enough for a heptathlon record. We will talk to Jackie Joyner after she has a moment to cool off and catch some refreshment. Stay with us here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Track and field competition continues after these important messages.
As we've said before here on our coverage, the biggest names of all are in track and field. They're very deep, and Jackie Joyner has just shown us why. But there's another fellow we're going to put on page 2. We'll put him on page 2, but by the end of the evening, he may be on page 1. Because this man won the 110-meter hurdles in Los Angeles last year in the Olympic Games. He is a gold medalist. The subject of page 2 today is Roger Kingdom.
That felt great. And that's the reason I can compete and just continue to compete and have fun. A lot of people say, don't you get tired going to this meet and that meet, or so many meets back to back? But no, it doesn't bother me. I enjoy running. I have a great time running, and I have this lady, Charlie, who's making sure that I can stay healthy and compete at this level. Once you start to working it out, you know, I feel a lot of pain from it, but that felt great. I know what it feels like to own a gold medal. It's a great feeling. And in order to be participating in front of 100,000 people live, and then billions of people watching you on television, that's a great thrill. So it has to motivate you to get up and try to work for another one. And not only am I going to work for one this time, I'm going to try my best to get a gold medal in the hurdles again, and I'm going to shoot for one in the decathlon if possible. And on this side now, I think I'm considering trying out for the Winter Olympics to push the bobsled in 1988 also. After the 88 Olympics, I feel that I would like to get into a little football after that. You know, I would like to try to play football again and get into a contract maybe that's going to last a while, and then maybe settle down somewhere, basically, probably in Miami or back home in Georgia, just to get away.
Roger Kingdom on page 2. Before this night is over, he's liable to be on page 1. And certainly a person who deserves to be on page 1 with a heroic performance here in the heptathlon, Jackie Joyner. Now with Leander Riley.
Jackie Joyner, a fine performance in the heptathlon. Obviously, that event all sewn up, but you were going for the record. And at the split after 400 meters, you were on a record-breaking pace. You had to shave 4 seconds from your personal best. What happened in the second 400?
Well, coming into the second or the fifth 200 meters, I think I pushed it too hard. I should have laid back and just relaxed through this fifth 200 meters and then went from there to really push it. I think I pushed too hard after the first 400s.
How much did the heat and humidity take its toll on you?
I don't really think the humidity and heat really took a lot out of me, because yesterday it was raining, and I think the rain brought good performance in outside of the high jump, and I think it cooled it off for today. But the weather was extremely hot. But all in all, I don't think it took a lot out of me.
Thank you very much, Jackie Joyner. Congratulations on your victory in the heptathlon.
Thank you.
Unofficially, we have her total points at 6,718 points. That is the greatest heptathlon to have emerged so far this year in international competition anywhere. And she passes Jane Frederick of the United States, who had 6,666 points. So she's ahead of the competition here by over 70 points in the heptathlon worldwide. You know, to show you how things can happen in track and field, we showed you that piece on page 2 highlighting Roger Kingdom. He came down, warmed up, and he had strained a muscle competing in Italy. And after testing out the leg just prior to this race, said, I can't go. His replacement is already here, had been slated to run another race in the presence of Jack Pierce. There you see Andre Phillips. So Kingdom, with a leg strain, is out of the race.
It'll only lessen the race just a little bit, though, because Andre Phillips, is, as you see right there, standing, preparing to run for the West, is certainly here, along with Cletus Clark, so it'll be tough.
Red flag. Get a red flag, John. I see a white flag.
That's Phillips that you're seeing.
On your mark.
To quickly set the lanes for you, Thomas Wilshire on the right of your screen from the north. Al Lane in lane 2. Cletus Clark, the third fastest in the world, is in lane 3. Next to him, Tony Campbell, an Olympian, in lane 4. Keith Talley is in 5. Jack Pierce is in 6. Henry Andrade is in 7. Andre Phillips is actually in 4, and make that Al Lane in 8. Keep an eye on lane 4 in the center of the track. Andre Phillips.
Well, if there was NCAA competition, we'd be worried about somebody getting thrown out now, Larry. But since we're under international rules, nobody will be thrown out. But that person who jumped will certainly not be able to jump again, or he'll be in trouble.
See if you can pick off who jumps off first. Look, Henry Andrade in the green of the South from SMU, the NCAA indoor champion, got away prematurely. One lane change that they've made with Kingdom. Tony Campbell has switched. He is on the outside in red in lane 8, closest to the stands. Those barriers are awfully high. There's 10 of them.
They're 42 inches high, 10 hurdles, 10 yards apart, 15 yards to the first hurdle, and 15 yards from the last hurdle to the finish. It is a sprinter's race. It is definitely a sprinter's race, but you have to be somewhat of a technician, and if you're not really a good technician on this, you can forget it. You may be able to get away on some other races, lower hurdle races, without being a technician, but on this one, you've got to be a technician to run it very well.
Andre Phillips in lane 4 has the second fastest time, only to Roger Kingdom in the world, and next to him, on Phillips's left in the green, is Cletus Clark, formerly of the University of Houston. He has the third fastest time in the world. America has dominated this event for years. The key is to get away cleanly to the first hurdle. They're away well. Watch for the first leg over. Hitting the hurdle is Andre Phillips. Look at Phillips power along. Andretti out with the lead. It's Phillips pulling away.
Look at Jack Pierce pulling.
It's going to be Andre Phillips, possibly in second. Cletus Clark. He usually comes on strong. We'll have to wait for third.
It looked to me as if Jack Pierce came strongly over hurdles 6, 7, and 8, but faded over 9 and 10. Andre Phillips looked like he was clearly the winner. I'll have to wait and see the rerun as to who was second and third, but here we go. You see Phillips is leading there. You can see in the middle of the track, he's touching first. But now Jack Pierce is almost even with him. And right over this hurdle, Pierce is even. And then Pierce starts to lose it a little, and Cletus Clark is coming. And it looks to me as if it's Phillips, Pierce, and Clark.
Nice catch. Watch him hit the hurdles. Now, this will slow you down. Those barriers actually have weights in the bottom of them to make it more difficult. Watch the lead leg. It snaps down quickly. Spend as little time in the air as you possibly can, Ralph. Notice the nice run by the replacement for Roger Kingdom, Jack Pierce, who in his day was a walk-on at Morgan State, had no scholarship.
And you can see here that Andre Phillips certainly is using that technique very well, and I think this is one of the reasons that he's a world leader in the intermediate hurdle this year, because his technique has improved so much. Look how well he's hurdling. He really does look like a polished high hurdler, and I guess he is with the second fastest time in the world this year.
Andre Phillips, the winner of the 110-meter high hurdles. Now we're going to be seeing him in the 400 intermediates later on. Let's go down to Leandra Riley.
Andre Phillips, a fine performance. Had a little bit of trouble in the beginning, though.
Yeah, I haven't trained on these much since the Bruce Jenner race, or the Arco race, excuse me. And I was a little flat first 2 hurdles.
You certainly made up for it in the end. You've got another event coming up tonight. How do you feel for that one?
I feel pretty good. I've had a slight stomach injury that's been nagging me the whole year, but other than that, I feel good.
For a man with a stomach injury, you look mighty fine to me. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a time out from the track here. When we come back, we'll have more competition from the track and field, plus we'll have more events from the swimming pool. Stay with us here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, as Sports Fest 6 continues on ESPN.
Overhead, helping us with our coverage of the National Sports Festival here on ESPN, the Goodyear Blimp Enterprise from Pompano Beach, Florida. And that's Pat Henry, the captain from Parsons, West Virginia. Track and field, Mumford Stadium. Let's go to Leandra Riley.
All right, while you were at the ice skating rink, we had the women's 100-meter, the world record, Evelyn Ashford, 10.76. The Sports Festival record, Evelyn Ashford, 10.79, set in 1983. Now let's go to Larry Ross and Ralph Boston for the 100.
Wendy Vereen in lane 1, the women's 100 meters. Lane 2, there's Monica Taylor. Running for the West, Catherine Wallace. For the South is in lane 3, Don Soul. Running for the North is in lane 4. Lane 5 is open with a scratch from Ramona Briley. And in lane 6, Alice Brown, the Olympian from California. There's Soul, running for the South. Alice Brown, Michelle Finn, Odessa Small round out the field. And they're away well. Alice Brown, the explosive starter, pulls out. It's Brown outside in lane 6. Alice Brown owns this race. Inside, Don Soul getting up for second place. Third place belongs to Catherine Wallace from Houston, Texas. Alice Brown, the Olympic gold medalist on our relay, dominates the sprints. She's an explosive starter, Ralph.
And I think that's one of the strong points of her race. Of course, she doesn't really have a weak point. Watch her blast out, and at 10 meters, she'll be well ahead of the field. And look at her turnover as opposed to everybody else's, Larry. Her turnover is so much faster, and she's just eating up the track. Don Soul, to the right of your screen, just to the left of Alice Brown there, is trying her best and is gaining ground. But Alice is sprinting very well into the tape to winner, 11:07, a very, very good time.
Fine time. Despite being only 5 feet 3, she carries the second half of her race very well when traditionally taller opponents take over. There's the time, 11 and 7/100ths of a second. Excellent time. One of the fastest run in the world this year. That moves her right up among the top 3 performers in the world this year. Great time. There is a negligible win here for the women's dash that we've just seen. Next up, the men's 100-meter dash. Lane assignment's coming. If Citius Altius Fortius, faster, higher, stronger, the Olympic motto can be embodied. It's here in the dashes. The fastest men, the fastest women. There you see Aaron Thigpen from San Diego State is in lane 2. Lee McRae was in lane 1. And sitting down, taking off his sweats last, as the heavyweight champion sometimes does, coming in the ring last, that is the great Kirk Baptiste, who has an outstanding performance at 100 and 200 meters in the world right now. Thomas Jefferson in lane 4. The gold, check that, the bronze medalist at 200 meters in the Olympics. Running for the East, Mike Morris, the football player from Syracuse, is out in lane 5. There you see in lane 6, Dwayne Evans filling in for the scratch Darwin Cook for the West. He won the 200 meters last evening. From St. Paul's, North Carolina, that's Lee McNeil. Powerful young freshman from North Carolina State. And on the outside, closest to the stadium wall, running for the North, that's Claude McGee.
And Larry, I'd be a little bit cautious of Dwayne Evans. He ran such a great 200 last night. I think this race would probably be to his liking also, and he'd like to go home with just 2 gold medals from this year's National Sports Festival. Dwayne can be tough, but Kirk Baptiste usually is tougher.
The man Ralph was talking about, Dwayne Evans, is in lane 6 wearing the red for the West. Kirk Baptiste in lane 3, the green for the South. Silver medalist at 200 meters last year, a great finisher, and a man who says next year, there's Evans right there. Keep an eye on lane 3, 6, and the great finish and good start in lane 7 of Lee McNeil.
Set.
They're away evenly. Here comes Baptiste, but in lane 1, trying to move out well is Lee McRae. It'll be a big upset. Baptiste looks around and just gets up to nip. Did you see how he actually controlled that race? That was amazing.
I don't believe he can do that in a 100-meter run. I saw it, and I still don't believe it. He was 5 yards down, and here he comes now beginning to close the gap. And look at him looking around, and he just says, okay, I've got this one in my hip. I'll sprint into the finish, and there he is, easily closing the gap and winning.
Getting up for possible second was Mike Morris. Third might have been Lee McNeil. Look at him down at the start here. He's a slow starter, but an excellent finisher, as Ralph said.
Well, I remember Bob Hayes said some time ago, it's not where you start, it's how you finish. And certainly, he finished in the #1 position, and that's the thing that's most important to him.
In a Carl Lewis-type move of looking around even before the finish line, it's Kirk Baptiste. Let's go down to Leandra Riley.
Thank you very much, Larry. Kirk, what a phenomenal finish at the end of that race. Did you realize that Lee McRae was putting the pressure on you so much?
Yeah, I noticed on my left-hand side that he was slightly ahead of everybody else, and I knew that I had to pick it on up at the next 20 yards for the finish.
And you certainly picked it up as if you had tons in reserve there. Do you think you could have gone any faster?
If I had a better start, I think my start really put me behind during the race, but I was lucky at the end.
Okay, you certainly did what was necessary. Congratulations for your victory in the 100.
Oh, thank you.
All right, let's go now to a commercial timeout, but when we come back, we will have more events here at the Mumford Stadium Track and Field facility, plus we have more coming up in swimming. Stay with us.
I'm about to enter our second hour of our 3-hour coverage tonight of the National Sports Festival. In the infield, with an update on what has happened and a look ahead at what's about to happen, let's go to Leanne Black.
And we have a couple of hot events coming up, but let's fill you in first on the heptathlon. Jackie Joyner, her point total was 6,718. That is a sports festival and collegiate record, just shy of the American record. Young and Jones finishing second and third officially. Some other results that you may be interested in. The final time for Kirk Baptiste was 10.2 in the men's 100-meter dash. And now let's move on to the women's 400-meter hurdle. The 400-meter hurdle for women has a world record of Margarita Panamareviva of 53.58 of the USSR. Lori McCauley owns the sports festival record. She set it in 1983, 55.69.
Women's 400-meter hurdles. 10 hurdles set around the track, 2.5 feet high. And there you see in the red, representing the West, number 30 in this competition. That is LaTanya Sheffield, who is the NCAA champion and American record holder. There's the field of 8. Sheffield will be in lane 3. Arnita Epps in lane 1, representing the South. Lane 2, Joetta Clark of the East. Lane 3 will be LaTanya Sheffield. Lane 4, Lisa Davis-Knowles. And lane 5, Shawanda Williams from the South. Lane 6 is Karen Woods. In lane 7, Tanya Brown from California. And in lane 8, Selena Christian from Zanesville, Ohio, representing the North. Ralph, what do we look for?
Well, one of the interesting stories that I'm following is certainly that young lady there, LaTanya Sheffield, is American record holder. But one of the interesting stories that I'm following is Joetta Clark, who is a half-miler. And this is her really first serious attempt at 400-meter hurdles. She's going to be in a good field.
A relatively new event on the international calendar. The American record has been dropping very quickly. We're down to 54 and 66 100ths of a second, set at the NCAAs this year by Sheffield.
Well, that certainly means that somebody left a little bit early, so they'll have to come back again.
In the women's 400 hurdles.
Not really sure. I didn't get a good look at who moved first, but certainly the officials thought that there was someone. They're going to call it back, reset the starters, and they'll go again.
There you see Sheffield from San Diego State. Great weather to train in. Coached by Dixon Farmer, the head coach at San Diego State. While we have a second, we should acknowledge some of the coaches here that have helped run this operation, and some of the people, we'll get into that a little bit later, but they have done a marvelous job. They're kind of unsung heroes. Speaking of unsung heroes, I'd like to thank our statistician who's been helpful yesterday and today, Mr. Fred Baer. There were I heard three shots fired there, so obviously there was the starter down the track who can recall them, as well as the chief starter.
One of the things I'm glad they don't use is live ammunition, because we might have a dead person on our hands.
21 years of age. There you see the graphic, 5'5", 120. Not particularly tall, but she runs well. While we're talking about the hurdles, sometimes called by the athletes the sticks, we would mention that Andre Phillips' time of 13 and 25 100ths of a second was the second fastest time run in the world this year. Only Roger Kingdom has run slightly faster than Andre Phillips. It's not even his principal event.
Keep in mind, he's not an intermediate hurdler. He's a high hurdler, rather. He's an intermediate hurdler, and that's going to help him in the intermediates.
All right, 10 hurdles. We're back in the blocks. They'll stay in lanes the entire way. They'll come down the straightaway, having run the same amount of distance at the 300-meter mark. The hurdles will be even as they approach the 9th hurdle, with 70 meters to go.
Sit.
Watch Arnita Epps in lane 1, and on the outside, in lane 7, Tanya Brown. They both have excellent times coming in. Watch who clears the hurdle first.
It looks to me well on the outside of the track there. That looks like Tanya Brown from the west is really running well. In the middle of the track also, the runner from the south in the green is running well.
All right, watch. LaTanya Sheffield has the lead at the moment. She's had to miss her steps there. She lost the momentum. It's tough for the hurdles to pick it up again. There are your three leaders. LaTanya Sheffield wearing the south colors. Joetta Clark on the inside is out of it. It is Karen Woods, Tanya Brown for the west. Here comes LaTanya Sheffield. one out very fast. Look at this sprint down the finish line. With 2 laps, with 2 hurdles to go, Ralph, pick it up there.
And here is, with 2 hurdles to go. Now, here's where the problem comes. Here's where she has a problem. Here's where Tanya Sheffield has a problem. You see, she chicken stepped there, the little stutter step, and really just blew everything. And the rest of the field caught up with her, and then she pulled back, tried very hard to close. And look at that, 3 people going into the finish just about simultaneously. Here it is again. Watch the bad steps, and there it is. And on the inside of her, from the right-hand side there, Miss Knowles took care of it and went ahead and ran into the tape, we think, the winner.
Lisa Davis Knowles, congratulations. And there you see another man who deserves, another person who deserves congratulations. The new world record holder in the triple jump, that's Willie Banks, 58 feet, 11 and a half inches. And he broke a record that had been set by over 1 foot 10 years ago, done at altitude. Ralph?
It may be a little bit of a problem because the finish of the hurdle race is just near where Willie is trying to get himself together to compete. So he may be distracted just a little. Willie's a well laid back guy, so we'll have to see. But certainly he's to be commended. 58.11 and a half. Great job, Willie. Just great job.
29 years of age. The man has been a star for years, but had problems last year as he dipped under 55 feet at the Olympics. He went back to his room, he said, and cried his heart out for an hour, and then said, I have to rededicate myself. He got a hold of Chuck Debus, and now he's going to lean in to the triple jump.
They certainly are with him.
8,000 people roar as the Mormon Tabernacle Choir does.
That one looked rather flat, and one of the things I think we'll show is, as you see the replay, as he's in such close proximity to the triple jump board.
You say he's flat. Why is he flat?
He's flat because he's landing, first of all, in an area that may be a little bit dead, but watch. That's good. That portion is good. Heel toe good right there. But right as you see, he just touched the triple jump board, and he reached out, but off the triple jump board, he didn't get a lot of lift. 55, 6 1/4. That still leaves him a little bit of second place. He's about 1.5 inches from the leaders right now.
He says he's training 40% harder than he did in the Olympic year under Coach Debus. He has him learning, he thinks, to sprint better down the runway. He's got better lift. His parabola in the air, he says, is much stronger. And he said he doesn't have the speed of Michael Conley, but he's gone farther because he's improved the technique that he had over the last couple of years.
Well, here's a guy that we're looking at, the Olympic gold medalist Al Joyner. Surprised a lot of people. I'm sure he didn't surprise himself. But Al is under a little bit of pressure tonight. He wants to do well. Willie broke the world's record. Al wants to show people that what he did in Los Angeles was not necessarily a fluke. Al is a good sprinter hurdler also. And look, he's got great speed. Oh, that's a good one. Looked like he died a little on his finish, but he certainly did well on his first 2 phases. And he knows he had it through the second phase, but just kind of tailed off at the end there. Didn't have a lot of carry. It'll be well out there, and he'll certainly be in the 3rd place at least.
The Olympic stars are here tonight. He fouled on his first jump. What do you think of this one right here? Watch his steps again, Ralph.
I think that's good. That looks good. That one is good. He got a little bit off balance there, and there was where he had his problem, and see, he died very, very rapidly there.
53 feet, 3 3/4 of an inch. Who does different things better? Give me your opinions of who jumps better.
Al Joyner sprints better. He certainly looks like a better sprinter. Willie has a very, very controlled run. Doesn't look like he's going very fast, but does he ever? And look at the second phase of how Willie drives his knee up high, and his 3rd phase as he really gets out into the pit. Now here's Al. A lot of lift off the board, and a lot of lift there, but you can see he lost it just a little bit at the board. His ankle gave, and then now here they go into the pit. Willie's landing's a lot better, a lot further. Very good, though. Both guys, very good technique.
Nice camera work, gentlemen. The Olympic gold medalist, the world record holder. Let's go down to Leandra Riley.
All righty, thank you very much, Larry Rawson. Certainly some outstanding performances tonight, and our technical crew should get a feather in their cap. Fine performance on the triple jump. We'll be back with more technical miracles, plus we'll be back with some more record-breaking performances after these important messages.
To track and field of 5,000 meters is in progress. You're seeing the 6'4", 160-pound frame of Brad Ericstad in the lead from Austin, Texas. Ericstad finished 7th in our U.S. Olympic trials at 5,000 meters, and missed our team, but he is out here trying hard. Running in second place in this hot, humid evening is Danny Henderson. Henderson ran with the leaders at the 5,000 meters and did very well, but died on the last lap. Let's get down for a live interview right now with Leandra Riley.
John Gray, you set a National Sports Fest record with your run. Unofficially, we have you at 144.6, but it's well under 147, which is the old Sports Festival record. You led from nose to nose, and it looked like you had plenty to spare. Was that the strategy?
Well, the strategy was actually to be about 49, but with the weather like it is and the humidity, it makes your mind change. But it was a special race to me for the fact being that it was dedicated to a grandmother-in-law of mine who has liver cancer, and it was special to win this for her.
You certainly did it in fine fashion. Our congratulations to you, and we wish your grandmother the best.
Thank you very much, Lee.
Thank you. Congratulations, Johnny Gray. The men's 5,000 continues. You're seeing Brad Erikstad in a view from our Goodyear blimp. In second place, Danny Henderson. In third from Auburn University, that's Brian Abshar. And in fourth place, the man whose everybody's kick is feared, that is Doug Padilla, running very comfortably. The young man from Utah who served Mormon missionary service in El Salvador is running comfortably right now in fourth place. Let's review the high jump and what occurred earlier. Third place, Greg Gonzalez from Falmouth, Massachusetts, and from the east, Boston University, Lee Balkin from the west, tied. It went to fewer misses between those gentlemen. And the winner, Brian Whitehead, ex of Ball State University, 7 feet 7 1/4 inches he cleared, and he looked great tonight. Only 5 feet 11, 177 pounds. Watch the arm lift. Watch him lay out, rotate beautifully, lay out over, clears with his feet. The bar shakes but stays on. The night belongs to Brian Whitehead. Back to the 5,000. They cleared the first 1,600 meters of this race in 4 minutes, 33 seconds. Relatively comfortable pace for talent like this that's on the track. Right now, Doug Padilla has the 5th fastest time of an American and finished 7th in our Olympic Games. The man running in red, who's in 4th place, running comfortably. He has the ability to be in full flight, Ralph Boston, and fly away whenever he wants, I think.
Larry, I've always noticed that Doug Padilla has that amazing kick, and whenever he wants to turn it on, he can. While we have a moment, let me get in some points here that I've talked to the athletes for the last couple of days, and they all say that the hospitality at Southern University has just been unbelievable. So I think on behalf of certainly the Olympic Committee, the athletes, and the ESPN, we want to thank and congratulate our host, Mr. Joe Terrell, who's chairman of the Southern University Board of Supervisors, the president of Southern University, Jesse Stone, and athletic director, Dick Hill. Thanks, guys, for a job well done. We really do appreciate it. And we are now looking at Willie Banks.
55 feet, 6 1/2 inches was up there. There you see the triple jump standing. 56, 11 1/4 right now is the leader for Simpkins. Second place is Al Joyner, no less, the Olympic gold medalist. Third, Willie Banks. So the surprise here has been Charlie Simpkins, who is a little overlooked with all the hype that this man has received, and Al Joyner has gotten since the Olympic Games. 6'3", 170 pounds. Look at him smile over as the applause begins, the rhythmic applause that he has instituted. This man has developed triple jumping to an art form, and he's got the audience really behind him. It has become a glamour event after for years being a stepchild. Look at him lean in.
Certainly has good feet. Not quite.
You can feel the intensity that has been going on, and with the symbiosis with the spectators and this triple jump tonight, with Simpkins jumping well, Larry Streeter, Al Joyner, Ray Humphrey, a host of people have done well tonight, and they've been right in front of the spectators.
Look at the effort on his face, and he really is pushing hard at this, and you can tell he wants to win this. Very nice and smooth, and you can see that he isn't losing anything because his ankles and knees are very strong. Very, very good. Look at him here again from another angle. He's really digging. He's faster now, I believe, than he's ever been in his life, and I guess it shows in the distances that he covers. But watch how he just, like, tips off that board. Very good. Long reach, and then a good third phase right out into the pit. Good extension. Not to be on that jump. He'll be back for others.
His jump phase is longer than any other triple jumpers in history. 56 feet 1 3/4 inches. Moves Willie Banks in his second place right now. Charismatic, articulate, a man who hopes to be a lawyer someday, but he's got to first get over some of the hurdles in triple jumping, and this man provided one of them in Los Angeles. This is Al Joyner. His sister won a silver medal in Los Angeles in the heptathlon. He won gold.
A super all-around athlete. You can see he sprints much better than Willie, much faster. He hit that one well. All good. Very good. He's a great hurdler. He's run 13:50 this year. He's a good sprinter. He's a good long jumper. He's a good triple jumper. He's an all-around athlete.
Ralph, both Bob Kersee, his coach, Al Joyner, and Chuck Debi, the coach of Willie Banks, did smart things with him this year. They had them do other events, and they really built their strength. Look at the form. Look at the height he gets off the spring. Look at the acceleration and the lift and the lean.
If I would ask one thing to be improved on Joyner, it's the strength of the ankles. They seem to be a little bit weak. Each time he touches down from a previous phase, the ankles seem to give just a little bit. He may need some more strength there.
55 feet 5 3/4 of an inch for Al Joyner. He is currently sitting in third place behind Banks and Charlie Simpkins representing the South. Back to the 5,000, and it looks like the North has moved up into the lead for now.
And 5,000 meters, that distance, 5,000 meters, is a pretty long race to be run, and certainly at this humidity and at this heat. But those guys are plugging along. They seem to be doing quite well at it. I think they've picked up the pace somewhat, Larry, and maybe we can get a good time out of it.
That's Keith Hansen from the North, who's leading right now, along with Danny Henderson, running as a duo. Watch Padilla in the red come comfortably behind them, letting them break the wind. We'll see his blast. There's a lap and a half left to go in this race. We'll keep you up on the whole thing. There goes Erikstad back into the lead. Danny Henderson running now second. We're going to go down to Leandra Riley right now, who's with Brian Whitehead. Leandra?
7.7 1/4. That's a sports festival record in the high jump, Brian. We've heard about the humidity and the heat and how it affects the runners. How does it affect high jumping?
It more or less takes the spring out of the leg, but I felt pretty good, and I didn't want to quit jumping, to tell you the truth. I came in at 7.5, and I felt my legs felt really good. The heat didn't bother me at all, and I was very thankful that it was nighttime when we jumped. But
I'm certainly sure that you're very proud of your performance. We certainly want to congratulate you. We're into the 5,000. It's near the end, so we've got to go back to Larry Rawson. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations, Brian and Leandra. There you see the blimp shot again. Back on the track, it's Doug Padilla running comfortably. Padilla has that ability to accelerate at any time. Matt Centrowitz, a two-time Olympian from New York City with 200 meters to go, is trailing him. Henderson holding on for dear life. Let's see if Padilla has that ability to accelerate that seemingly is always the present. It's Centrowitz in second. Danny Henderson trying to move to the inside. Padilla keeping the lead. Look at him just keep control with his great speed. He pulls away seemingly effortlessly. 30 meters to go, and it's Doug Padilla's day. Matt Centrowitz is in second. Danny Henderson for third.
He just, down the straightaway, Larry, he just took peeks periodically over his shoulder just to see where everybody else was, to keep them honest, to keep himself abreast of what was happening if there was something developing behind him. And he just cruised in with that blazing speed of his. Doug Padilla probably is the premier 5,000-meter runner, certainly in this country. Doug Padilla, Athletics West, and running for the West team. Watch him just peep over his shoulder there just a little bit, and he'll go again and peek just a taste to be sure nobody is coming on him, and he's cruising very, very, very nicely.
Good catch, Ralph. He just did it so easily. These guys are so good in the lead, you're not even sure they're turning around when they're so subtle. Look at Padilla, the great long stride. To work on his speed, he's run 800-meter races this year, and it certainly helped him in Europe. Our congratulations to Doug Padilla, formerly of Brigham Young University, ex-NCAA star and Olympian for the United States. We'll be back for more exciting relay action here at the Sports Festival right after this.
He is the National Basketball Association's most recent #1 pick. But 4 years ago, Patrick Ewing was just another Sports Festival star. Baton had just won the gold medal in the men's figure skating. And Christopher Bowman had vaulted from 4th to 2nd with an incredible performance, brand new for him, and one judge gave him a perfect 6, and Danny Duran was 3rd. But when we left you at the Centroplex, we had not yet decided the medals in the women's figure skating between Debi Thomas who was first in the standings, and Kersee, who was second. And the question became, who is going to win? Was it going to be Kersee or Debi? Well, to report on the progress of what happened this afternoon, let's first pick up Debi Thomas as we go back to the Centerplex and Jim Kelly.
Just two skaters remain in the finals of the ladies figure skating free skate program. Debi Thomas has vaulted past Kersee. After the short program yesterday, Debi Thomas ranked #1, trying to hold on to that gold medal performance. And Kersee will follow her performance. And Judy, after what you saw yesterday, nerves for both girls got to be tingling here tonight.
I think so, and for all of us, the audience is all ready for this confrontation here at the end of the ladies' long program. Debi's out pacing on the ice a little bit. They allow the skaters to get out onto the ice prior to their performance while they're giving the marks of the other skater. And I saw her practicing the takeoff for the triple salchow. I don't know if maybe that's got her a little concerned or not.
Interesting, too, that both Debi Thomas's coach and Kersee's coach were both out watching the skate of Leslie Sykes. So that indicated they were both concerned about her maybe moving up from third, even possibly as high as first, with a great skate.
Well, it also may be one of the last times they get to take a look at her before the Nationals in January. If they aren't planning to have the skaters skate at the same international competitions, it's important to watch the competition that will be coming up. And she's very popular with this crowd.
Debi Thomas finished up 5th in the 1985 World Championships. Didn't do so well the other day after the compulsory. She said, when I was doing the compulsories, my brain fried.
I think compulsories can do that to you.
Said she went out and did a spaghetti figure and turned in a really shaky performance. But here she is now out of San Jose, California, 18-year-old Debi Thomas.
See the tension on that face. She looks very determined. Some of those triples out of the way.
Well, you talk about determination, Judy. Debi started skating at age 5, and just 13 years later, she is the highest-ranked black skater ever in the history of figure skating, either nationally or internationally.
Certainly an impressive record. By the way, that was a double loop jump. This year she did a triple loop jump there, and at Worlds also. They took it out specifically for this competition to give her a little bit of a rest and to make her feel safer.
About how important the crowd was yesterday and pulling her along in that short program. There were 1,600, not a sellout, but they were certainly loud.
They may very well be holding on to their seats with the tension of these two last skaters.
And of course, the short program, much athletic yesterday. They just want her to cut loose, don't they?
They do. They want her to come out and show us everything she's got. And this is the time to do it, too, Jim. She's really, I think she has to open up here. There's her southhouse somehow. And maybe she was waiting for that. She may have had that one in her mind. Because now I can see the smile on her face. She's starting to come alive. The home stretch.
And that smile's beaming a little broader now. 15 seconds to go.
Double axel. And she's done a beautiful program. This is the last spin. I'm sure she's pleased. She needed a perfect program.
And a standing ovation in the Centroplex for 18-year-old Debi Thomas. Second at the U.S. National Championships this year, fifth in the World Championships, and they're on their feet here in Baton Rouge.
Well, she loves the crowd, and she says she needs them, and she's got them now.
Talk about being on their feet. There's Christopher Bowman, Brian Boitano, the whole skating team over there in one section on their feet and a standing ovation as well. You know, part of Debi's problem has been bad practices this week. She says she's had some really bad practices here, and she's been really scared because everybody expects so much of her. They expect her to do so well.
She's also won 3 international competitions. She's still looking for her first place in her first United States championship. It's been a hard pull for her. She did not win the junior. She did not win the novice.
First set of marks for technical merit. Keep in mind she's in first place right now, but Karen Kersee has yet to skate. 5'8", 5'8", a low of 5'5", 5'6", 5'8", 5'8", and 5'4", Judy.
Wow.
Judge number 7. That's extremely low.
Yes, they don't seem to agree on it. Of course, we saw all those triples earlier from Tanya Harding, and they may be a little confused here with this, but I think that 5'4" is quite low. Obviously, the audience thinks that also.
Debi Thomas thinks. Let's go downstairs. Misha?
Debi, that was just terrific.
Oh, I'm so happy right now. It's amazing.
You seem to brighten up in the last 30 seconds of the program.
that was after the hard part was done. I was just really turned on.
What was going through your mind for the first 3.5 minutes?
Land all these turbos. If you want to win, you better do these.
And then suddenly you knew it. You had it in your grasp.
After the triple stop, I knew. I was just like, yes. I yelled down there. Everybody sitting down there probably has broken eardrums.
Well, listen, you have the entire skating team over here behind you. They're all excited. They were standing up and applauding. How does that make you feel?
Great. It really makes me feel like I've done something and everybody thinks I deserve it. I'm really happy about that.
Congratulations. Thanks.
You can bet that Debi Thomas will watch our next skater. We hope you will, too. Karen Kersee comes back and goes for the gold when we return.
Speaking of golden moments, this golden moment belongs to Marianne Torellis, the winner of the women's 10-kilometer walk.
There are two definitions of the word pressure, the kind you read about and the kind you experience. Well, the pressure is now off Debi Thomas. She has skated, she's received her marks, and there's just one lady left to go. It's 4 minutes for Karen Kersee. Can she leapfrog past Debi Thomas?
It's very difficult to say. I don't think that maybe Debi Thomas is through with the pressure yet. She still has to watch Karen Kadevi skate. And Karen's skating, she looks very, very confident out here. It all depends on how Karen skates, and I think that she could pull ahead. She certainly has the program to pull ahead.
One thing that must be going through her mind in these final few laps, she had two very crucial falls in the warm-up period.
Yes. Very difficult to come back from that, and yet she may have been trying something that she could have easily decided. This is why they call it free skating. She could have easily decided to have pulled those out of the program at the last minute.
You can see over the shoulder of Debi Thomas and all those bouquets she's going to watch, as will we. She is 17 years old from Erie, Pennsylvania, and Cheyenne Mountain High School. She's in the second spot and going for the gold.
She knows what Debi Thomas has done. She knows what triples are needed. There's an Ina Bauer.
Pennsylvania. 2 falls in the warm-up, 1 here in the free skate, and a near miss just toward the end. And Misha, when he gets a chance to talk to Karen, should ask her about the item that was thrown down on the ice directly across the way. There was something thrown down on the ice with about 20 seconds left to go in the free skate. And I just wonder, there it is, I just wonder if she saw that out of the corner of her eyes. She was coming down for that last jump, Judy, and if maybe she pulled up a little bit early to avoid that.
Could be. Maybe it broke her concentration. It was right in that area. I don't know. That would be too bad if that happened. Now she's stepping into her triple toe loop. Look how confident she looks. And this was so early in the routine, and yet she looks so confident. She picks in the ice, turns 3 times in the air, and lands on the back outside edge. Steps up into a double loop, toe loop, excuse me. And now she's going into this jump. Salchow, she turns once and looks fine right there. She just doesn't have the height. She just comes down to the ice before she's finished with the rotation. But it was a very costly fall. She needed that jump.
In the second spot, trying to get the gold. 5-6, 5-6, 5-4, 5-6, 5-2, 5-7, and 5-5 for Karen Kedebi. And I don't think, Judy, those marks will be good enough to vault her past Debi Thomas.
I don't think so. She just didn't have the triples in there for the technical merit score. Those triples are so important.
She started skating at the age of 4.
The second set of marks for composition and style.
5-6, 5-8, 5-6, 5-8, 5-3, 5-9. There's a big discrepancy there, and 5-5. Let's go back just toward the end of the routine, Judy, and see if she pulls up at all short.
Now you see that item that's on the ice over there? It's right behind her shoulder, her left shoulder right now on the ice. And she looked at it, I think, maybe in that jump. And now she steps for the next jump. She may even be looking at it there. I don't know if it threw her or not.
I don't know if you've ever been to a horse race and you've seen a horse get spooked when a bird flies nearby and will sometimes jump over the hedge, but I'm sure we'll find out when we go down to Misha that she saw that and she might have pulled out a little bit early.
Well, you know, hitting one of those things is a definite fall. There's no doubt about it. It's just too bad that had to fall out on the ice now.
Well, the tension remains here in the Centroplex. Will Debi Thomas get the gold after the ladies' free skate? Karen Kedebi hoping to vault up to number 1. And who will get the bronze? Misha, let's find out how Karen thought she did.
Karen, listen, right towards the end of your program, right before that double axel, there was something on the ice just over by the barrier. Were you aware of that?
No, I didn't. I didn't know.
So the double axel was just one of those things?
I guess. I think so.
Well, I'll tell you, you did such a terrific program up to the triple salchow. I mean, everything was perfect. Everything looked absolutely spectacular. What happened on the triple sal?
I think I didn't get enough height, and the checkout just went, and I did not check it out. So I think it didn't get enough lift.
Carlo Fassi, Karen's coach here, the maker of many great champions. Carlo, what do you think of Karen's performance here?
Well, I think the fall on the warm-up really kind of bothered her. She fell very badly on the warm-up. It was nothing really on a triple, but just on a, I think it caused also to be concerned about the triple salcavone program, and that's what probably will just get it fairly good. So I hope.
I just also wanted to say that I wanted to wish my grandparents a happy 50th anniversary because I know they're watching, and I wanted to say hello.
Well, good luck and congratulations to all of you.
And the envelope, please. The results are in. The finals of ladies figure skating. And the gold goes to Debi Thomas, 18 years old, out of San Jose, California. The silver to Karen Kedebi, 17, from Erie, Pennsylvania. And the bronze belongs to 18-year-old Leslie Sykes out of Haverford, PA. But those three weren't the only story in ladies figure skating. How about 14-year-old Tanya Harding from Rouge Junior High School in Portland, Oregon, the first lady to attempt the greatest number of triple jumps ever.
That's right, Jim. Tonight she made history. Tanya tried all of the triple jumps except for the triple axel, which is very unusual in ladies figure skating, and it pulled her all the way from 13th in the compulsory figures to 5th in the final standings.
And another story, our gold medal winner, Debi Thomas, second in the U.S. Nationals, number 1 here in Baton Rouge at the National Sports Festival, the highest-ranked black skater ever, nationally or internationally. So for Misha Petkovich, Judy Slatke.